Doctor's appointments, bullies, and the struggles of fitting in with society. A child sits in class attempting to understand what the teacher is saying. His mind is wandering because he doesn't understand. Why can't all the other kids tie their shoes? Or why do I sleep all the time? According to WebMD, approximately 1 in 544,000 people in the United States have the muscular dystrophy gene. This is compared to 303,824,640 people living in the United States, according to the CIA World Factbook. Even though people who suffer from muscular dystrophy have difficulties in life, their very own siblings often think the affected person is lazy until a diagnosis is announced. Siblings are simply unaware of the severity of the disease, and eventually the realization sets in regarding the affected sibling. Until there is a diagnosis, siblings often think that the other sibling is lazy. According to MDA.org, the two most prevalent types of onsets are childhood and adult. In adult onset, the person normally loses their job a lot of times and is lazy and often lays around on the couch. This causes other people to think that they are lazy and they have no motivation in ever doing anything. On childhood onset, the child often struggles in school and doesn't turn in their homework. This may cause other people to feel like that they don't really want to succeed or that they're not doing their homework because they're just lazy and don't want to. Siblings are simply unaware of the severity of the disease. According to WebMD, unless someone is very familiar with the symptoms of the disease, these symptoms go unnoticed. Because of this, siblings do not actually realize there is a problem, simply because it does not look like there is a problem. Teenage siblings are simply too consumed with their lives to even understand the severity of the disease. Oftentimes, teenagers are so selfish that they don't really take the time to understand what others are going through. Because of this, the affected person with MMD may feel like that they're not wanted and that they're just not accepted in general society. Because teenage siblings are so consumed with their own lives, it's very hard for them to actually understand what's going on with the disease. Eventually, the realization sets in regarding the affected sibling. The teenager simply grows up and they come to realize what's really going on in the real world. The severity of the disease is fatal possibilities. Every single person with muscular dystrophy will end, the disease will cause them to end in death. Oftentimes, it's not because of the muscular dystrophy itself, but they get hospitalized and they get pneumonia or a staph infection and it's other problems. There are so many complications with this disease that it's very hard for them to have a normal life. There are so many doctor's appointments that they often miss school just because of all of these appointments. My brother, personally, only goes to school half a day, and my mom works from home just so they can make it to all the appointments. It is very hard for her to conduct a normal life, but they try as hard as they can. According to WebMD, people who have muscular dystrophy may experience no progression for several years, and then all of a sudden they progress rapidly. The person who has muscular dystrophy may be fine for 5, 10, even 15 years, and then all of a sudden they go way downhill. This is because the disease is such a muscle wasting disorder that you can be fine and it will lay stagnant for several years. All of a sudden, when the affected person progresses, it is very hard for the family. Because the siblings have finally, hopefully, recognized the severity of it, it's a lot easier on the parent to cope with this and to deal with the problems. I myself have learned that it is a very severe disease and my mom needs as much help as she can. Even though people who suffer from muscular dystrophy have difficulties in life, siblings often think that the affected person is lazy until a diagnosis occurs, and siblings are very unaware of the severity of the disease. And eventually the realization sets in regarding the affected sibling. Even though this disease is so rare, sometimes it is often thought that these people are the chosen ones. They are so loving and so compassionate, and they have no idea that others are making fun of them or being bullies. Wouldn't it be nice just to be in their world?